Oh, that blinking LF or LID code on your washing machine? I know that feeling. Your laundry's piling up and the machine just gives up. But hey, don't worry, and definitely don't call for an expensive repair just yet. We're gonna walk through this step by step, and you can probably fix this yourself in under an hour. Think of the money you'll save.
All right, let's get this machine back in the game. Here's our roadmap. We'll start with what that code actually means, run through the super simple checks first, and then work our way right to the finish line with a solid diagnosis. Let's do this. First things first, let's translate what the machine is trying to tell us. You gotta speak the language before you can solve the problem, right? So here's the thing. This isn't some vague, mysterious error. This code is actually kind of good news. The washer's brain, the control board, is literally pointing its finger at the problem. It's telling us, hey, look right here at the lid lock. That makes our job so much easier. And this is exactly why your machine has stopped dead in its tracks. It's not just being difficult, I promise. It's actually protecting you. That spin cycle is no joke, and the machine wants to be 100% sure that lid is locked down tight before it unleashes all that power. Okay, let's move on to the easiest potential fixes. You'd be amazed how many times the problem gets solved right here in the next couple of minutes without you even picking up a single tool. You know the old classic, have you tried turning it off and on again? Well, it's a classic for a reason. Unplugging the machine for a few minutes lets that main computer brain just take a breath. It completely clears its memory and can wipe out any weird temporary glitch that was causing the error. Seriously, don't skip this step. So often, the problem is just something physical. Open and close the lid a few times, listen for that satisfying click, you know the one, then get your eyes in there. Is a piece of a sock or some built-up detergent gunk literally blocking the way? It happens all the time. All right, so the quick fixes didn't do the trick. No big deal. That just means it's time to roll up our sleeves and take a closer look inside at the lock assembly itself. And don't worry, this is way more straightforward than it sounds. Okay, let's do a quick gear check. Having these few things ready to go will make the next part super smooth. So go grab a screwdriver. It'll probably be a Phillips or a 1/4-inch hex head. A pair of needle nose pliers is always handy. And if you've got a multimeter, bring that too for our detective work later. But the most important tool, your hand unplugging the washer. I'm going to say it again. Make absolutely sure it's unplugged. Safety first always. Now, your machine will have one of two ways to get inside. The most common is just a couple of screws on the back. You take those out, slide the whole top panel back, and lift it off. Just take a look at the back of your machine. You'll probably see them right there. Okay, the panel is off. Time to put on our detective hats. We're going to use a simple tool called a multimeter to ask the lid lock if it's working properly. This is how we get our definitive answer. Now, if you've never used a multimeter, don't let it intimidate you. For what we're doing, it's just a simple yes or no machine. We're checking for continuity, which is just a fancy way of saying we're seeing if an electrical path is complete. Think of it like a drawbridge. Is the bridge down so traffic can get across, or is it stuck up in the air? So here's the test. Find the wire connector on the lock and unplug it. Then we're going to touch the multimeter's little probes to the metal terminals on the lock itself. And here's the cool part. You'll take a screwdriver and manually push the little lever on the lock, basically tricking it into thinking the lid just closed. And this is the moment of truth. Before you push the lever, the drawbridge is up, so your meter should read OL for open loop, no connection. When you push that lever down, the drawbridge should close, and your meter should beep or show a number close to 0. But if it still says OL, even when you push the lever, bingo, you found the killer. The switch inside that lock is broken. Okay, we've gathered all our evidence, we did the physical checks, we ran the tests. Now it's time to connect the dots, deliver the verdict, and pinpoint exactly what's wrong. This chart right here is your cheat sheet. Just find the symptoms you saw on the left. Did the lock fail that multimeter test? Well, that points you straight to a failed lid lock assembly. See some melted plastic? The chart tells you what to do. Honestly, for this LF error, 90% of the time, the answer is right there in that top row. You are on the home stretch. You've found the problem? You're ready for the fix. Let's just cover a few last-minute pro tips to make sure this repair is successful and, most importantly, safe. Okay, I'm going to be really serious for a second. You might see stuff online about how to bypass or trick the lid lock. Please don't do it. It is an absolutely critical safety feature. It's there to prevent really bad things from happening. It is never, ever worth the risk. Just replace the bad part. Once you pop the new lock in, make sure you run a quick rinse and spin cycle. The washer's brain needs to cycle that new lock a couple of times to get to know it and calibrate it. It's a super important final step. And look at that price. The part itself is really affordable, and you're saving a ton on a repair call. And here's the best part. For most people, this is a surprisingly fast fix. From start to finish, you're probably looking at less than an hour to get your washer back up and running. You can totally do this. And finally, remember, there is absolutely zero shame in calling for backup. If you get to the multimeter part and you're just not feeling it, or if you open things up and see wires that look burnt or damaged, that's a great time to stop. And of course, if you do replace the lock and the error comes back, that's the smart time to call in a pro.
So just think about what you just did. You didn't just get frustrated by an error code. You understood it, you investigated it, and you found the solution. You just empowered yourself with some serious new skills and saved a nice chunk of change. So the real question is, with this new confidence, what are you going to fix next?